Ever think you're the main character in your own love story only to find out you're just the backup plan in someone else's reboot? That was me. 4 years in, ring on the table, and I didn't even see the plot twist coming until she handed me the script. Name's Liam, 30, your average marketing dude who thought he'd cracked the code on life with a solid job, a cozy house, and a fiancée who, up until recently, seemed like the real deal. Tessa. 4 years together, and I was dumb enough to think we were bulletproof. I mean, I'm not the guy who gets the girl in some rom-com montage, but with her, it felt close enough. Guess I should have known better. Life's got a way of smacking you upside the head when you least expect it. It all started back at my buddy Jake's barbecue, one of those sticky summer nights where the mosquitoes are out for blood and the beer's lukewarm by the time you crack it open. Tessa was there, perched on a lawn chair, tearing into Jake about his grill skills. "Dude, those hot dogs look like they've been through a car wash," she said, smirking over her solo cup, and I swear I was hooked right then. She had this vibe, sharp, funny, didn't take crap from anyone. We hit it off over a shared hatred of pineapple on pizza, and by the end of the night, I'd scribbled my number on a napkin like some nervous middle schooler. Fast forward a few months of texting and late-night diner runs, and she's hauling her beat-up thrift store lamp into my place, claiming my bachelor pad needed character. I didn't argue, mostly because I was too busy grinning like an idiot. Living together was easy, or at least it felt that way. Lazy Sundays stretched out with us sprawled on the couch, her feet in my lap while she scrolled Zillow for houses we couldn't afford, laughing about how we'd need a bigger place for the dog we didn't have yet. She'd nag me about leaving dishes in the sink. I'd roll my eyes and say, "Yes, dear," and we'd end up splitting a pizza because neither of us felt like cooking. It wasn't flashy. It's just two people figuring it out, you know? I'd dated before, had my share of flops, but Tessa clicked. She'd doodle little cartoons on Post-its and stick them on my laptop, stick figure me with a goofy grin, her with a speech bubble saying, "Feed me tacos." I'd stash them in my desk drawer at work, feeling like the luckiest schmuck alive. Last year, I decided to lock it down. Popped the question over takeout lo mein on a random Tuesday, nothing fancy, just the two of us at the kitchen table, soy sauce packets scattered around like confetti. I'd saved up for a ring from K Jewelers, $200, not exactly breaking the bank, but it had a little sparkle and I figured it'd do the trick. Slid it across the table with a shaky, "So, you want to marry me or what?" She froze, chopsticks midair. Then her eyes got all shiny and she nodded fast, like she couldn't get the yes out quick enough. Next thing I know, she's tackling me with a hug, laughing through tears, and I'm sitting there thinking, holy crap, this is it, I found my person. We started dreaming up the wedding right away. She wanted it in the fall, by this little lake an hour outside town, small guest list, string lights, the whole Pinterest vibe. I'd catch her sketching table settings on napkins, asking stuff like, "Tulips or roses, babe? Pick one." I'd shrug and say, "Whatever doesn't make me sneeze," and she'd swat me with a grin. We'd lie in bed at night, her head on my chest, tossing around ideas. Maybe a honeymoon in Nashville, maybe a kid or two down the road. "You'd be a good dad," she said once, half asleep, and I just lay there staring at the ceiling, feeling like I'd hit the jackpot. 4 years in, and I figured we were golden, solid, the kind of couple who'd make it through anything. Yeah, I'm that guy. Thought a cheap ring and some lo mein meant forever. Cue the laugh track. But then came that Friday. I'd had a long week, boss writing me about some dumb campaign, traffic sucking the soul out of me on the commute home, so I was pumped to just crash with Tessa, order some wings, maybe binge whatever garbage Netflix was pushing. Walked in, dumped my keys on the counter, and there she was, hunched over her laptop on the couch, not working though, just staring at it, fingers tapping the armrest like she was psyching herself up for something. "Hey, I'm home," I called, trying to shake the quiet vibe in the room. She glanced up, quick and jittery, and muttered, "You're early," like that was a bad thing. I shrugged it off, headed to the kitchen to rummage for a beer, but the air felt off, thick, like the calm before a storm you don't see coming. I popped the cap off a Bud Light, leaned against the fridge, and tried to keep it light. "Rough day?" I asked, nodding at her laptop. She didn't answer right away, just closed the screen with a soft click and rubbed her hands on her jeans. "Actually, Liam, we need to talk." My stomach did that little flip, the one you get when you know something's about to suck, but you can't dodge it. I set the beer down, walked over, and plopped onto the armchair across from her, spatula still in my hand from messing with some half-baked dinner plan. "All right, shoot," I said, keeping my voice steady even though my brain was already spinning worst-case scenarios. Lost her job, sick relative, something fixable. She wouldn't look at me, just kept picking at a loose thread on the cushion. "I've been thinking a lot," she started, slow, like she was stepping through a minefield. "About us. And about Dylan." I blinked. Dylan. Her college ex. The dude who'd cheated on her with half her dorm. The one she'd cried about on my shoulder, way back when we'd just started dating. I let out a short, dumb laugh, gripping the spatula tighter. "Wait, what? Dylan? Seriously?" She finally met my eyes, and there it was. Guilt, mixed with this weird determination. "I need a break," she said, voice barely above a whisper, "to figure some stuff out with him." I just stared, the words bouncing around my head like a bad echo. A break to figure stuff out with him. My fiancée, the woman I'd just bought a ring for, was sitting there telling me she wanted to hit pause on us so she could, take her cheating ex for a spin? I forced another laugh, sharp and hollow, and leaned forward, elbows on my knees. "Hold up. You're saying you want to date Dylan, like, right now, while we're engaged?" She flinched, shifted on the couch, and I could see her scrambling. "It's not like that, Liam. I need to know if there's still something there. Before we..." She waved a hand vaguely, like that explained it. I sat back, spatula dangling from my fingers, feeling like I'd just stepped into someone else's life. "Cool," I said, voice flat. Cool. So my fiancée wants to test drive her ex. Awesome." She frowned, opened her mouth to argue, but I held up a hand. "Nah, I heard you. You need a break. Got it." Her eyes darted to mine, searching, like she wasn't sure if I was messing with her. Hell, I wasn't sure either. All I knew was the room felt smaller, the air heavier, and that ring on her finger suddenly looked real cheap. Tessa grabbed her laptop, stood up, and hovered there for a second. I'll stay at Mom's for a bit," she mumbled, already halfway to the bedroom to pack. I didn't move. Just sat there, staring at the coffee table, listening to the rustle of her throwing stuff into a bag. Door clicked shut a few minutes later, and she was gone. Just like that. So there I was, sprawled on the couch after Tessa peeled out to her mom's, that cheap Bud Light still sweating on the coffee table, spatula flung somewhere near the sink. The house was quiet, too quiet, like it knew something I didn't. I kept replaying her words in my head. "I need a break to figure stuff out with Dylan." Like, what the hell does that even mean? Figure stuff out with the guy who couldn't keep it in his pants back in college? I grabbed my phone, scrolled Reddit for a distraction, but all I could think was, how did we get here? Looking back, the signs were there, blinking like neon bar lights, but I was too busy playing house to notice. Guess I'm the king of ignoring red flags. Should put that on my resume. It wasn't always like this. For a while, things were smooth. After the proposal, Tessa was all in on the wedding stuff, scrolling Pinterest late at night, texting me pics of centerpieces and goofy hashtags like Liam and Tessa forever. She'd shove her phone in my face, all excited, going, "Tulips or roses, babe, pick one." I'd squint at the screen, half asleep, and mumble, tulips? I don't know, whatever's cheaper. She'd laugh, call me a cheapskate, and keep scrolling. We'd sprawl on the couch, her legs slung over mine, dreaming up this perfect little day by the lake. I'd tease her about turning into a bridezilla, and she'd fire back, "Please, I'm too chill for that." Yeah, right. Chill Tessa lasted maybe 3 months before the cracks started showing. First, it was the wedding plans. The Pinterest boards went quiet. No more late-night texts about lace veils or mason jar decor. I'd bring it up, casual-like, over breakfast. "Hey, you figure out those flowers yet?" She'd poke at her cereal, not looking up, and go, "We've got time." Got time? The venue was booked for October 6 months out, and she's acting like it's a decade away. I'd push a little. "What about your bridesmaids? You pick 'em yet?" And she'd shrug, spoon clinking against the bowl. "Not yet, still thinking." Same answer every time, like a broken record. Thought maybe she was stressed. Freelance gigs can be brutal. So I let it slide. cracking a dumb joke about how we'd just elope to Vegas if she kept stalling. She'd flash a tight smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. Should have known then something was up. Then came that night at Jake's place. A bunch of us were piled into his tiny apartment, empty beer cans stacking up, someone's Spotify playlist churning out throwback jams. Jake's girlfriend Sarah pulled out this TikTok game. Stupid stuff like, "What's your guilty pleasure snack?" Or, "Relive one relationship. Who's it with?" We're all laughing, half drunk, tossing out answers. Sarah says Taco Bell at 2 a.m. Jake goes, "My high school fling, she had a Mustang." Then it's Tessa's turn. She's slouched next to me on the couch, swirling her drink, and without missing a beat, she goes, "Dylan." The room goes quiet for half a second, long enough for me to notice, before she laughs it off, waving her hand. "Kidding, guys, chill." Everyone chuckles, moves on. But I'm stuck. Dylan. That name hit me like a popcorn kernel lodged in my throat. Small, annoying, impossible to ignore. I didn't say anything right then. Didn't want to be that guy, the jealous fiancé ruining the vibe. But it gnawed at me the whole drive home. Tess is humming along to the radio, acting normal while I'm gripping the wheel, replaying it. Finally, as we're kicking off our shoes in the hall, I blurted out, "So, Dylan, huh? What was that about?" She freezes mid-step, then turns with this casual shrug, tugging her jacket off. "It's just a dumb game, Liam. Don't make it a thing." Her voice is light, but she's fussing with the zipper, not looking at me. "Yeah, but why him?" I press, leaning against the wall, arms crossed. She sighs, exasperated, like I'm asking her to explain quantum physics. "I don't know, he was a big part of my past. It's not a big deal, can we drop it?" I nod, mutter, "Sure." But it's like she's handed me a puzzle piece that doesn't fit. Past, sure, but big enough to blurt out in front of everyone? Spoiler, it was a big deal. After that, she started pulling away. Slow at first, then all at once. She'd be on her phone constantly, curled up in the armchair, smirking at texts, thumb flying across the screen. I'd peek over from the kitchen, stirring spaghetti sauce or whatever, and go, "Who's got you grinning like that?" She'd glance up, quick, and say, "Oh, just work slack, clients being a pain." Uh-huh. Graphic design emergencies are totally a thing, right? Then the excuses piled up. "Can't do movie night, babe. Mom needs me to help with something." Or, "I've got a deadline, gonna crash early." I'd find her crashing at 1 a.m., still awake, glow of her phone lighting up her face. One night I'm hauling trash out and she's on the porch, voice low, laughing into the phone, caught my eye, waved me off like it's nothing, but my gut's screaming otherwise. I tried to play it cool, burned a slice of toast one morning, pacing the kitchen, muttering, "This is fine," while the smoke alarm chirped. Confronted her again, softer this time, over coffee. "Tess, what's going on? You've been off." She set her mug down, too hard, coffee sloshing over the rim. "Nothing's going on, Liam. I'm just busy." "Why are you so paranoid?" Her tone sharp, defensive, and I back off, hands up. "All right, my bad." But it wasn't my bad. That Friday she dropped the brake bomb didn't come out of nowhere. It had been brewing, and I'd been too busy flipping channels and flipping burgers to see it. The neon signs were flashing, and I'd walked right past them, whistling like a fool. Guess that's what I get for thinking we were untouchable. So yeah, by the time that Friday rolled around, I was already on edge, piecing together Tessa's weird phone smirks and half-assed excuses, like some detective in a bad cop show. I'd spent the week muttering to myself, burning toast, and pretending everything was fine, but deep down I knew something was rotting in the fairy tale I'd built up in my head. Still, nothing could have prepped me for the bombshell she dropped that night. Picture me, spatula in hand, ready for a chill evening. Wings on the way, Netflix queued up, the works. I'd shuffled in from work, kicked off my sneakers, and was rummaging in the fridge for a beer when I caught Tessa on the couch, laptop shut tight, staring at it like it owed her money. "Hey, I'm home," I said, trying to cut through the weird vibe. She barely nodded, just kept tapping her fingers on the armrest, and I swear the fridge hum got louder in the silence. I grabbed a Bud Light, popped it open, and leaned against the counter, spatula still dangling from my other hand because I'd been half-assing some dinner plan. "You good?" I asked, keeping it light, though my gut was already twisting. She didn't answer right away, just sat there picking at her jeans, then finally shut the laptop with a little click that sounded way too final. "Liam, we need to talk," she said, voice low, and I felt that flip in my stomach, like when you miss a step going downstairs. I set the beer down, walked over, and sank into the armchair across from her, gripping the spatula like it was some lifeline. "All right, what's up?" I said, forcing a grin, hoping it was something dumb like her mom's cat ran off again. She wouldn't look at me, just kept her eyes on the cushion, tugging at a loose thread. "I've been thinking a lot," she started, slow and careful, "about us. And about Dylan." My brain short-circuited right there. Dylan. That name again, popping up like a bad rash. I let out this dumb, sharp laugh, the kind that slips out when you're too stunned to process. "Wait, what? Dylan, you serious?" I said, leaning forward, spatula wobbling in my hand. She finally glanced up and her face was this messed up mix of guilt and stubbornness. "I need a break," she said, barely above a whisper, "to figure out if there's still something there with him." I just stared, jaw hanging loose, feeling like I'd walked onto a prank show with hidden cameras. "A break," I repeated, slow, like I was testing the word. "To figure stuff out with Dylan." "Your ex, the guy who cheated on you." She shifted, tucking her hair behind her ear, still not meeting my eyes. "Yeah, I need space to see what's real, before we..." She waved a hand, vague, like that made it all click. I laughed again, louder this time, and it echoed off the walls. "Hold up. So you're saying you want to date your ex, and I'm what, on hold, like some Netflix subscription you can pause and pick back up?" Her head snapped up and she frowned, quick to jump in. "It's not like that, Liam. I just need clarity. If it doesn't work out, I'll come back. I promise." My eyebrows shot up so high they probably hit the ceiling. "Oh, you'll come back? Gee, thanks, Tess. That's real generous of you." She bristled, sitting up straighter like I'd poked her too hard. "Don't make this a fight. I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I just need to be sure about us, about what I want." I dropped the spatula on the coffee table with a clatter, leaning back, arms crossed. "Sure about us? We've been together 4 years. I put a ring on your finger, and now you're telling me you need to test drive Cheater McCheatson to see if I'm good enough?" Her face tightened and she shot back. "It's not about you being good enough. It's about me knowing I'm making the right choice. You should reflect on us too while I'm gone." I blinked, floored. Wait. You're out there reliving your college glory days with Dylan, and I'm supposed to sit here reflecting? What am I reflecting on, Tessa? How I didn't see this coming?" She sighed, loud and dramatic, like I was the one being unreasonable. "Look, I'm not asking for permission. I'm telling you what I need, okay?" That hit different. Sharp, like a slap I didn't see coming. I stopped laughing, just stared at her, the fume of the fridge filling the room. My hands clenched on my knees, but I kept my voice steady, cold even. "Sure," I said, shrugging. "Take your break." Her eyes flicked to mine, surprised, like she'd expected me to yell or beg. "You're okay with it?" she asked, tilting her head. I nodded, face blank. "Yeah. If that's what you need, go for it." She hesitated, lips parting like she wanted to say more, then stood up, grabbing her laptop. "I'll stay at Mom's for a bit," she mumbled, already heading to the bedroom. "It's not forever. We'll talk." I didn't answer, just sat there, listening to her shuffle around, stuffing clothes into a bag. The front door clicked shut a few minutes later, and the house went dead silent. No more footsteps, no more excuses. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking a little, and dialed Noah, my best friend since college who never sugarcoats crap. He picked up on the second ring, voice groggy. "Yo, what's up?" I rubbed my temple, staring at the untouched beer. "Dude, Tessa just left. Said she's taking a break to test the waters with Dylan." There was a long pause, then a low whistle. "What the hell? She said that to your face?" "Yep," I said, popping the pea. "Packed a bag and everything. Said she'll come back if it flops." Noah snorted. "That's some next-level BS, man. You okay?" I leaned back, kicking my feet up on the coffee table. "Not really. I mean, guess I'm single now, but with extra steps." He laughed, short and harsh. "Bro, she didn't just break up with you. She put you in the timeout corner. You need me to come over?" I glanced at the spatula, the empty couch, and sighed. "Yeah, actually. Bring pizza. I'm not cooking Jack after this." He showed up an hour later, tossing a greasy box on the table, plopping down next to me. "So, what's the play?" he asked, cracking open a beer of his own. I shrugged, grabbing a sliced cheese, stretching as I pulled it free. No clue. She thinks I'm waiting around like some sad puppy. I'm not. Noah grinned, clapping me on the shoulder. Good. Screw that. You're better than her safety net. I nodded, chewing slow, the betrayal still stinging, but something else flickering underneath. Like maybe I was done being the fool. Noah was still sprawled on my couch, pizza box open between us, grease soaking through the cardboard, when I finally shook off the daze. Tessa's "I'll come back" line kept looping in my head like some cheesy pop song I couldn't unhear. I sat there like a chump for maybe 10 minutes, staring at the half-eaten slice in my hand, cheese congealing before it hit me. "Now screw this," I said, tossing the crust back in the box. Noah glanced over, mid-sip of his beer, eyebrow cocked. "What's up?" he asked, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. I stood up, pacing the living room, the carpet still dented from where Tessa's stupid thrift store lamp used to sit. She thinks I'm just gonna wait around while she plays house with Dylan? No way, man. I'm done. He grinned, leaning back, arms spread wide. "There's my boy. What's the plan?" I grabbed my laptop off the counter, plopped back down, and yanked it open. "First, this wedding's toast," I said, fingers already flying across the keys. I pulled up my email, found the venue's contact, some chirpy lady named Karen who'd gushed about our adorable love story, and shot off a quick message. "Hey Karen, wedding's off, cancel it all, thanks." Then the photographer, this hipster dude with a man bun who'd charged me $500 up front. "Sorry man, not happening, keep the deposit I guess." Sent. Done. "Lost $500, I muttered, smirking as I hit refresh like it had erased the last 4 years. "Worth every penny," Noah laughed, loud and sharp. "Hell yeah, burn it down, Liam." "What's next?" I leaned back, rubbing my hands together, feeling this weird buzz, like I'd just chugged a Red Bull after a week of no sleep. "The house," I said, nodding at the walls around us. "Tessa picked the curtains, the paint, all that crap, but my name's on the deed. Time to ditch it." Noah whistled, setting his beer down. "Big move, dude. You sure?" I shrugged, staring at those god-awful floral curtains she'd insisted on. "Yeah. I can't sleep here without seeing her crap everywhere. It's like living in a museum of my own dumbassery," he snorted, grabbing another slice. "Fair. Call a realtor tomorrow. Tonight, we drink to your freedom." We clinked beers, and I took a long swig, the cold fizz cutting through the lump in my throat. Hurt still lingered, sure, but it was morphing, turning into something hotter, sharper. Next day, I got to work. Found a real estate guy through Noah's cousin, some slick dude named Tony who talked too fast but knew his stuff. House was listed by Wednesday, and I started boxing up Tessa's junk. Her clothes, the tacky live, laugh, love sign she'd hung over the TV, a stack of sketchbooks she'd left on the shelf. Took me 2 trips in my beat-up Honda to haul it all to her mom's place, an hour out in the burbs. Pulled up to the porch, stacked the boxes neat as I could, and scribbled a note on the top one. "Here's your stuff. Good luck with Dylan XOXO." Dropped it with a thud, smirked imagining her face when she saw it. Probably still on that porch now, hope it rains. And peeled out. Felt petty as hell, but damn, it was good. A week later, I'm crashing at Noah's, eating takeout on his lumpy couch when my phone buzzes. "Tessa, can we talk?" the text says, and I almost choke on my fried rice. Noah peeks over, grinning. "She's back already? That was fast." I wipe my mouth, shaking my head. "Yeah, guess Dylan flunked the test drive." I text back, "Sure, come by tomorrow," knowing full well she'll flip when she sees the house. She shows up the next afternoon, standing in the doorway, eyes red, hair a mess, like she's been crying for days. "Liam," she starts, voice wobbly, stepping inside. She freezes, glancing at the bare walls, the moving boxes stacked by the stairs. What's going on?" "Selling the house," I say, casual, leaning against the counter with a coffee mug. Her jaw drops. "You're what?" "Yeah, don't need this much space anymore," I say, sipping slow, watching her squirm. She takes a shaky step closer. "Liam, I messed up. Dylan's still a jerk, hasn't changed a bit. I was stupid. I see that now. Let's fix this." Her hands twist together, tears spilling over, and for a second I feel that old tug like maybe I should cave. But then I remember her "I'll come back" crap, and it's like a switch flips. "Fix this," I say, setting the mug down. "Tessa, you wanted clarity. Hope you got it. I'm out." She blinks, stunned, like I'd slapped her. "What? No, I mean us. We can still—" "Nah," I cut in, voice steady. You don't get to run off, test the waters, then waltz back like I'm plan B. You made your choice. I'm making mine." Her face crumples and she grabs my arm, voice cracking. "Please, Liam, I was scared. I panicked. It's you. It's always been you." I pull away, shaking my head. "Should have figured that out before you packed a bag. We're done." She stands there, sobbing, then turns and stumbles out, door slamming behind her. I don't move. Just listen to her car peel off, the quiet settling in. A few days later, I'm signing papers for a little bachelor pad downtown. Nothing fancy, 1 bedroom. No floral curtains, just me and a killer Spotify playlist I'd been tweaking all week. First night there, I crack a beer, flop onto a secondhand couch I'd snagged off Craigslist and let out this long, slow breath. Noah swings by, tossing a 6-pack on the counter. "How's freedom taste?" he asks, cracking one open. I grin, clinking my bottle against his. "Pretty damn good." He flops down next to me, kicking his feet up. "She call again?" "Nope," I say, taking a swig. "Probably crying to her mom about how I'm the bad guy." Noah laughs. "Let her. You're good now, man. Better off." And he's right. Sitting there, beer in hand, the hum of the city outside my window, I don't feel mad anymore. Not at her, not at myself. I feel free, like I'd been lugging her baggage around for years, those smirks, those excuses, that damn break. And finally dropped it. The house is gone, the ring's off her finger, and I'm not waiting for anyone to figure out if I'm worth it. I crank the music, some old Foo Fighters track, and lean back, letting the bass rattle the walls. Tessa can have her clarity. I've got mine. So, I'm sitting in my new place, feet kicked up on a scratched-up coffee table I nabbed for $20 off some dude on Facebook Marketplace, when the first ripple of Tessa's aftermath hits. It's been a week since she stumbled out, tears and all, begging me to take her back, and I figured that'd be the end of it. Nope. My phone buzzes mid-sip of a cold Miller Lite, and it's my mom, her voice shrill through the speaker. "Liam, why's Aunt Sharon blowing up my phone about Tessa? She's saying you dumped her out of nowhere, left her heartbroken." I choke on the beer, coughing as I set it down. "Heartbroken?" I say, wiping my mouth. "She broke my lease on reality, Mom. What the hell?" Mom sighs, that long, disappointed one she's perfected since I was a kid. "Well, that's what Sharon heard from Tessa's mom. Everyone's talking, you need to fix this." I lean back, staring at the ceiling, feeling my jaw tighten. "Fix it? She's the one who ran off to play house with Dylan." Mom's quiet for a sec, then mutters, "Just figure it out, okay?" I don't like the family gossip mill churning. I hang up, tossing the phone on the couch, and let out a groan. Of course Tessa's spinning this, painting herself as the damsel I ditched. Later that night, I'm scrolling Instagram, half watching some dumb reality show, when I see it. Her story pops up, a black screen with white text, real subtle. "Some people trade diamonds for dirt and don't even see it." I snort, loud enough to startle myself. Subtle, real subtle. Hope that cryptic crap keeps you warm. She's out here playing victim and it's got my blood simmering. Not full-on boiling, just that low, annoyed bubble. Next weekend, I'm at my cousin Mark's BBQ, flipping burgers on a rusty grill, when the rumor mill hits live. Aunt Sharon corners me by the cooler, her voice all syrupy pity. "Liam, honey, I can't believe you just dropped poor Tessa like that. She's a wreck." I flip a patty, grease spitting, and roll my eyes so hard I nearly strained something. "A wreck? Huh? Funny, she didn't look wrecked when she packed a bag to go figure things out with her ex." Sharon blinks, clutching her iced tea. That's not what I heard. "Yeah, well, you didn't hear it from me," I cut in, slapping the burger on a bun. "Ask her, not me." Mark strolls over, beer in hand, smirking. "Drama follows you, man. Tessa's mom's been crying to half the family." I hand him the burger, shrugging. Let her cry. I'm not the one who bailed. Monday rolls around and it's not just family. Tessa's dragging this mess wider. My boss, Greg, calls me into his office, scratching his bald spot, looking awkward. "Hey, Liam, everything okay? Heard from a buddy your ex is going through some stuff, keeps mentioning you." I lean against the doorframe, arms crossed. "She's stirring the pot, Greg. We're done. She left, not me. Won't mess with work, promise." He nods, relieved. "Good enough. Just keep it off my desk. I walk back to my cubicle, muttering, heartbroken my ass, and realize she's not just whining to relatives, she's tossing my name around like confetti, hoping it sticks. That's the last straw. I'm not letting her rewrite this into some sob story where I'm the villain. I grab my phone, pull up the family group chat, mom, aunts, cousins, the whole nosy crew, and type fast. Hey all, Tessa and I split, mutual decision after she chose to reconnect with her ex. I'm moving on. Appreciate if you respect that, and don't buy the gossip. Thanks. Sent. Then I block her phone, Insta, email, everything. No more cryptic posts, no more teary voicemails I'd been dodging. Done. Mom texts me later, solo, I agree, figuring she's gonna lecture me, but I'm ready to shut this down for good. Next morning, I'm at this little diner with Mom, stirring sugar into my coffee while she picks at a muffin. You didn't have to be so blunt in that message, she says, frowning over her glasses. I sip, smirking a little. Blunt? Mom, she's airing our laundry to anyone who'll listen. I'm not letting her play victim while I'm the bad guy who dumped her. She sighs. Softer this time, crumbling the muffin edge. I get it, honey. I just hate seeing you hurt. I set the mug down, leaning forward. I was hurt. Past tense. She doesn't get to keep twisting this. 4 years, and she still wasn't sure? I'm done carrying that. Mom's eyes soften and she reaches over, patting my hand. You're right. I just want you happy. I grin, dry as hell. I am. New place, no drama. Winning. After that, the noise starts fading. Mark shoots me a text a few days later. Family's dropping it. Tessa's mom's still whining, but no one's biting. Greg doesn't bring it up again, just slaps my back at the coffee machine and says, Glad you're good, kid. Even Aunt Sharon backs off. Though I catch her whispering to someone at the next gathering, I just flip her a burger and keep it moving. Tessa's social media stunts dry up too, no more diamonds for dirt nonsense. Probably because I'm not there to see it. Life settles, and I'm chilling in my apartment one night, scrolling Reddit, when Noah swings by with a six-pack and a grin. Heard the latest? He says, cracking a can. I glance up, wary. What now? Nothing, he laughs, flopping on the couch. Just wanted to see your face. She's out of ammo, man. I grab a beer, lean back, and let out a long breath. He's right. She's got nothing left to throw, and I'm not digging through the wreckage for her. I don't hate her, not anymore. Don't even care enough to hate. 4 years, a ring, a house, all gone, and I'm still standing. Dodged a bullet before the I-dos, and now, I'm good. New place, new vibe, no regrets. Noah nudges me, smirking. You're grinning like an idiot. I shrug, sipping slow. Yeah, well, living well's the best FU, right? He clinks his can against mine. Damn straight. I crank the TV, some dumb action flick filling the room, and sink into the cushions. Tessa can keep her sob story. I've got my piece, and it's louder than she ever was.